What up, folks? What it do? Welcome to another episode of the Best Advice Ever podcast with your boy, Mike Goodwin, the bow tie comedian. I've been switching it up a little bit, so we start each episode with let me reintroduce myself. My name is, thank you so much for checking in. This podcast is created by me, Mike Goodwin, bow tie comedy. I'm a comedian. If you just stumbled upon this YouTube page by accident, or this Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can check me out at Bowtie Comedy on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, X. I think it's been newly named. Comedian Mike Goodwin on Facebook. Comedian Mike Goodwin on YouTube. Check me out, man. I'm a clean comedian. I travel all over bringing joy and laughter to the masses. And I thank you for tuning in. Also, try to share a little bit about myself in these introductions. I'm a breakfast guy. Now, when I say I'm a breakfast guy, that's not my favorite meal. It's my favorite meal to prepare. I love making breakfast. I'm a breakfast making kind of guy. I was thinking about this earlier. The meal, so if I would ask you, what's your favorite meal to prepare? And then what's your favorite meal? I wonder how many of those would be the same thing. For me, it's not. My favorite meal is dinner. Yeah, I love dinner. Like, I could not eat all day and get that dinner. Looking forward to that dinner. Matter of fact, if I'm going somewhere where I'm trying to get in as much work, I will bypass these earlier meals. I will forfeit breakfast for a large dinner. I will forfeit lunch for a supreme dinner. I would not do that for other. If I have a big breakfast, I'm still gonna get that dinner, right? So dinner is my favorite meal to consume, but my favorite meal to prepare is breakfast. I'm a big breakfast guy. And my standard breakfast, I when I'm on my program, which I'm on now currently, I'll talk about that in a little bit. I love that breakfast. I make that breakfast. Sometimes my wife makes it for me, but I typically make breakfast at least, if I'm home, 6 times a week, give or take, at least 5. But sometimes like this morning, I forego breakfast because I had a lunch, and we're gonna do the big meal tonight. So I skip frog. I leapfrog breakfast. You know, when people come to you, when you're at a restaurant and your server, waiter, waitress said, "Did you leave any room for dessert?" I typically don't have any room left for dessert because I used it all for breakfast. So that's a little bit about me. And also, I'll be talking more about this in the podcast. I'm currently going on tour twice. I'm double tour. So I'm touring with the Big Dad Energy. That's my tour. Matter of fact, I got 2 dates coming up. This month, I'll be at the DC Loft on September the 21st. And I'll be at Helium in Philly doing the Philly Joan. I don't know if I said it right. Doing that Philly Joan on the 22nd, the Big Dad Energy Tour. But I'm also a part of something called the Church Comedy Tour, which will jump off in November. But I'll talk more about that in a later segment of the podcast. But the part that y'all been waiting for, this is the segment that the podcast is named after. The best advice ever. I was talking to a buddy of mine recently, and he gave me a great piece. It wasn't like we were talking, and when he said it, I had just mentioned I was talking to him while I was doing my walk. as I mentioned before, I've been pretty disciplined on getting my steps in. Now, I don't know how many steps I'm getting in, but I'm getting steps in. I'm walking. On average, I'm walking an hour and 10 minutes a day. Now, on average. On the weekends, I walk a little bit longer, probably for an hour and 30 minutes. But this week, I'll see, because I'm trying to get back into a routine. I've been out of my routine for a little bit. The last show I had was in Minneapolis. Then me and my wife went on out of town. Then we got Labor Day. So I've really not been on a schedule. I've been kind of just doing my thing, right? So when I'm doing my thing, I walk a little longer. But I'm going to get myself back on some type of schedule. In the ideal situation, and during the week, I'll walk for an hour. Now, I may do an hour all at one time. Typically, I'm not thinking I'm going to do that. I think if I'm going to do back on my schedule, I'll do 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes sometime in the evening. But for the most part, when I'm off my schedule, I do an hour off the rip. I do like an hour and 10 minutes off the rip. So tomorrow, I think, will be the first day where I'm back on a schedule. So I think I will do 30 minutes in the morning, go on about my day, do what I need to do, and then sometime that evening, get another 30 done. But I was talking to my buddy, and I was telling him that I was calling him during my walks. I was killing two birds with one stone. But he has an analogy or I guess it's a statement, or he has a he has a twist on that same two birds, one stone. He says one bird, two stones. And so that's the best advice ever that I'm giving you today. Throw out the two birds with one stone. I've seen a lot of you throw. You don't have good aim. So you're not knocking out two birds with one stone. I was telling him I'm walking and I'm having a conversation with my buddy, two birds, one stone. But he was saying to be more effective, some of you need one bird, two stones. And that's simply to focus. Now, I'm sure I've done a podcast episode about focus, but I think there's a way to have the same conversation in a different way. So I think I may have talked about fractured focus, but this is going to be a little bit different in terms of two birds. No, two birds, not two birds. One bird, two stones. Double down on the thing that you need to get done. That's what the walking is for me. I basically say I do an hour, but like when I'm trying to get it done, sometimes I've done an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. One bird, two stones. And I'm starting to see some progress, a little bit of progress. And that's an interesting thing that I'll talk about, because when you focus, you can create the result that you want quicker. Sometimes it doesn't happen quicker, but sometimes you can. But at least if you have one bird, two stones, like you get it done. And you get it done the way in which you want to get it done. So I encourage you to focus. Again, I'm very scattered. Like this year for me is the year action. I'm scattered, so I have 5, 6 things going on. I'm trying to read 5, 6 books at one time. No, read one book, double the time. So if I'm like, oh man, I'm reading 2 books, I'm spending 30 minutes a book, one book, an hour. Get that one book done. One bird, two stones. Now, what this looks like for me in terms of, I've been talking to y'all about not feeling good about where I am in my physique, my situation. Now, you see me wearing the tank top. I'm not really an athlete because it's college football time. If you're not familiar with my man, I don't know his social media tag. Maybe Jeremy throw my man's social media tag on there. I'll send it to you. Hopefully, I'll remember to do that. But I bought his merch. He reviews football games. So hopefully your team doesn't show up on his on his skits, but he is basically giving like the post game of showing highlights of a team, and he's basically like, you're not really an athlete, talking to the guys as if he's a coach. It's hilarious. But it's college football season. That's why I'm rocking the hoodie. However, one bird, two stones. I've realized that, hey man, I gotta lose this weight. I'm probably 25 pounds overweight from the place that I want to be, how I want to look in my suits, how I want to move around. Probably about 25, right? One bird, two stones. I'm like, okay, got to focus. Now, losing weight isn't rocket science. There's, and I've said it, and I'll probably say it again. There's a few things you need to do. You need to be in a caloric deficit. You need to figure out how many calories you eat that your body needs to do what it does, and you go about 300 to 500 calories less than that you intake. So that puts you in a calorie deficit. Then you work out. You do some type of muscle, some type of weightlifting. I talked about this. Lift weights, some type of strength and conditioning, progressive overload workout 3 times a week on average. Got to go to bed, get sleep, 7 hours. It's good. I'm not a exercise physiologist. 7 hours gives your body enough time to repair itself, fix things that you've done during the day. Drink water. Water is very important. And then walking or steps, like activity. The challenge with me is I do a lot of my work like this. I'm sitting down, I'm writing jokes, I'm listening to jokes, I'm watching. So that's why I have to give myself a set time in which I'm going to walk. I haven't got one of these counters. I don't like the walk counter thing. I don't want to do that. But I've been steady. And so over the last about 3 weeks, I've lost 2 pounds. To me, that's sad. Womp, 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 womp. It's not exciting because I'm delusional. I think I should lose 5 pounds a week. I got just insane expectation of how much weight I'm gonna lose. Or when I'm consistent, let's say I'm consistent for a week, I do what I'm supposed. I eat my meals, I go to bed, I do my workout, I get on that scale. I want to see, man. I want to see significant change. It's like 1 pound. And so I did that recently when my wife and I went out of town. I stayed true to my workout, but I had some great dinners and got back home, and I was like 1 pound. So I see what it takes. If it takes me a week to get a pound off, one bird, two stones. I need to double down on the things that I see that's working. Slow and steady wins the race. And the thing that's frustrating to me, I'm delusional. I'm like, hey man, I put in all this work for a week. I should be down 15 pounds. I was talking to my cousin about kind of weight loss, and I was even with some folks having a conversation about that. And the person was trying to hack their weight loss. I was talking to the person who was like, oh man, you need to do like a 3-day fast with water or something. And my cousin was basically like, why are people trying to hack weight loss when you didn't hack weight gain? When you gained all the weight over an extended period of time, now why all of a sudden you in a hurry to losing? And that really resonated. That really like confirmed one bird, two stones, like focus, man. Focus. And my trouble, my problem, my challenge is when I get on the scale, I see some result, I see weights coming off. My immediate thought is to undermine my progress and go have some pizza. So I'm like, oh, I lost weight. I'm coming down. Now I can go eat what I want. And that's why I keep calling myself the RC man. And you're like, Mike, what's RC? The roller coaster man, baby. Roller coaster man. I'm up, I'm down. I'm up, I'm down. I'm up, I'm down. If you know me you can look at my videos. You can look at my comedy videos, man. I'm up, then I'm down. I'm fit, then I'm fluffy, right? There's one that like my adoption is this. I did this show for a dude that was raising money for this adoption ministry. I'm up. I'm big up. heavy, heavy, heavy D, the overweight lover in the house. Then you look at my dry bar, fit, looking like a middle linebacker a little bit, right? And so I understand that about myself, and I am committed because I had to have a come to Jesus talk with myself. I had to say, hey man, do you want to look this particular way in your suits, or do you want to keep having the food and the eating and drinking the way that you are doing? And whatever it is, let's just do it. Like, hey man, but I'm like, I want to look good in these suits. I want to look a particular way in these suits. So it's like, all right, we're about to do the thing, and we're about to continuously do the thing. And so, one bird, two stones. I'm trying to get this weight down, so I'm targeting. I'm doubling down. And I'm not doing anything out of control either. Like I'm just putting my efforts and attention to what I want to accomplish. So hopefully that has helped you, and that has been the best advice ever today. Focus. Stop trying to do two birds, one stone. Let's get two stones. Knock out one bird. Cut the multitasking out. People are like, oh, I'm multitasking, doing multiple things. And no. Stop being a master of none. Be a master of one. All right. So we're in the fourth quarter, everyone. The fourth quarter of 2024. When? How? Why? It is September, bro. I can remember being January, February, March, April, May. Now we in September and we only got 4 of these left. And we in 2025. Good. Googly goo. Are you pleased? Have you accomplished the things that you wanted to accomplish in 2024? I think I'm pretty good. The Big Dad energy has been popping. I got my TEDx talk going down. I'm a part of a tour. It's been a good year, man. Not a great year, but a good year. I'm solid, feeling good, but I feel like this fourth quarter, we can burn up some stuff. We can make it happen. Light the world on fire. So I'm really excited, especially about the upcoming tour that I have, my TEDx talk. Really get to put a stamp on 2024. So think about 2024. How are you feeling? Are you feeling like it's been a good year? Because we are in the fourth quarter of 2024. I was recently having a conversation with somebody, and I had a wow moment. So having a conversation with some folks, and I was giving them information about basically an update on what's going on with the business, what I have going on. And as I was talking, I realized that, man, I've really done well for myself. Like I kind of had like a little out of body experience because the person asked like, how's the business? And so I started sharing the clients that I've worked with or working with, the shows that I've just done, some shows I have upcoming. And as I think about it, like this year, man, I've done my Big Dad Energy Tour. I would say about 16 dates. I've done about 16 cities. When I was desiring in 2023 to do 8 cities, like that was my Christmas present. It's on my wall. 8 cities, 2023, and I've done probably 16 cities on the Big Dad Energy Tour. And then we got at least 3, 4, probably a lot more than that. I know we got DC, Philly, have Birmingham, Alabama, with North Carolina sometime in October, I believe. That's been great. I talked to the Mississippi State football team this year. They went and handled their business, their first game of the season. I'll be talking to Delta Airlines, doing a leadership keynote for them. I have a TEDx talk coming at the end of the year. I have the church comedy tour. Like, I'm like, yo, we doing it. Because I remember when I first started, folks would say, "Hey man, how's the comedy thing going? You still doing your little comedy?" I'm like, man, I'm about to do a keynote for Delta Airlines. So that's significant personally because I fly Delta Airlines. There's not been many folks that I've been able to present before that I have a real legit connection. I've done something for the Special Olympics that was great. I was able to share when I was in graduate school. I coached basketball for a Special Olympics team. I've had that connection. I've done things for my church, which is I started doing it at my church, so that's connection. I did something for Lander University. That's where I went to school, went to college at Lander. That's super cool. Went back to Camden, South Carolina, where I'm from. I did a show at Camden Fine Arts Center, right? Dope, incredible. But Delta Airlines, I mean, I fly for real. Matter of fact, I need to book a flight. I just thought about, I ain't booked a flight for upcoming performance. I fly Delta. Man, I fly Delta if I see where I'm going, like I'm going to Amarillo coming up soon. There's no Delta airline flights that get you to Amarillo, Texas. I'm the type of person that will fly an hour away from Amarillo and drive. But I don't even think there's anything close like that. I mean, I think Lubbock is probably the closest to Amarillo, and Lubbock's probably 90 miles. It's a little farther than what I'm desiring to do. But that's not uncommon for me to fly into a Delta airline and then drive, like a city that has Delta, and then drive over to wherever I'm performing. I'm all in Delta. I'm trying to fly Delta. Then if I don't fly Delta, I'll fly American. Then I'm out. Man, I definitely United. Nah, I don't have a problem flying Southwest. Typically, if I fly Southwest, I got to fly out of Greenville, Spartanburg. And the days of me, there used to be back in the day, like back in the day, I used to drive to Charlotte because the prices were more friendly, right? You would drive to Charlotte, and those days have long been over. Like I've not driven to Charlotte for a flight. I remember, I think maybe most recently we took my daughter to Charlotte. She had a flight out of Charlotte, but I haven't flown out of Charlotte in years. I can't. I mean, I probably sometime last year, but if I'm booking flights, man, I'm booking it out of Columbia, South Carolina, Delta. So the fact that I'm going to speak to the Delta Airlines employees at their headquarters in Atlanta is super dope. It's like, Mom, I made it. I made it. I've been kind of alluding to this, but I'm on tour at the end of the year, November tour called the Church Comedy Tour. It's myself, a young man by the name of Shama, and a young man by the name of Jaron Myers. You can go to their social media websites, social media pages from my Instagram page, probably more than likely you get there. But yeah, we're doing the church comedy tour. We're going 8 cities. 8 cities. The tour starts off on 11th of not the 11th, the November the 14th. The 14th of November. We're doing 8 cities. We're doing Woodbridge, Virginia, Columbia, South Carolina. That's on November the 15th. Douglasville, Georgia. That's the 16th. That's like Atlanta area. Umatilla, Florida. I think I'm saying that right. That's on the 17th. I believe that's more like Orlando-ish. Maybe an hour out from Orlando. Then the next leg of it, we're out on November the 21st. That will be Kansas City, Kansas. Not Kansas City, Missouri. It's Kansas City, Kansas. On the 22nd, we're doing Fort Worth, Texas. On the 23rd, Longview, Texas. And then on the 24th, Waco. We all familiar with Waco, Texas. That's where Baylor's located. Waco, Texas, baby. We're bringing the church comedy tour to you. I'm excited about it, man. I'm trying to, put together. I'm gonna have a big Dead Energy stuff I'm doing, but I'm on the church comedy tour. I'm gonna try to have a new set, or at least a different set that I'm typically doing on the road. So I'm gonna have, I don't know how much time each one of us is doing, but it will be my goal to have a church comedy set that's different from where you see me. If definitely if you come to Big Dead Energy tour, create some new jokes. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. There's good stuff happening, good stuff going down. And what you're not gonna do is tell me I'm not coming to your city. I know a lot of you maybe are saying, "Hey, man, when are you coming to the West Coast? When are you coming to the Northeast?" When we sell the tickets to the places I'm going, right? Ticket sales and tour dates, it's a tricky animal. And I'm sure that if I show up, because Buffalo, New York is a place where people often ask, "Hey, man, when you come to Buffalo?" And I want to come to Buffalo. I definitely want to come to Buffalo in the fall and spring dates. I don't want to spend winter dates in Buffalo. When are you coming to the West Coast? When you come to California, Sacramento, LA, Oakland, San Fran? Where are some cities? People often say California. They may say some cities, but folks are saying, New Orleans. When you come to New Orleans, when you come to Pittsburgh, right? Man, I want to come to all these places. But the question mark, will people buy tickets to come see me? That's the question mark. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to build momentum. We're trying to grow the brand and show up at the places. In Central Arkansas, Dr. Y'all want me to, wherever you want me to be, I'm game. I'm open. Oregon, Seattle, hey man, Washington State, hey man, I'm all about it. But I got to get a track record of sales. So y'all got to let people know. If y'all got people, even if you don't in the cities that I'm coming, you know me, you love what I do. Tell the people that are in those cities that I'm coming to, hey man, go buy those tickets. Purchase those tickets, because when people, it's very easy. When you see a demand, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna give them some more of that." This touring ain't very difficult. They just like, "Hey man, if you selling tickets, they'll expand those cities. But if you are not, they like, thanks for participating. I hope you enjoy these 8 tour dates, because that's all you are getting." So I'm trying to come, people. If you have a city that you've asked me, especially if you're on social media, I'm responding. Hey, working on it. I'm working on. I want to be in Dallas. I want to be in Houston. These are the places I'm trying to get to you. I'm trying with my whole heart. New Jersey. I'm trying to get there. Trying to get to where you are. Michigan. Trying to get there, buddy. Trying to get there. But what I need when I get there, I need y'all to be in the place. Your faces in the places, seats, tickets bought up. So man, I thank y'all so much for coming along this journey. Again, Church Comedy Tour, Transparent Productions is hosting, is sponsoring this tour. You should be able to find information. The pre-sale tickets don't bam. The tickets don't go on sale until September the 4th. Pre-sale. So that's this upcoming Wednesday, right? Wednesday, 2nd, 3rd. Yep, Wednesday. So I'll have that information on my social media spots. You'll be able to, I'll put it on. If you're not on my email list, get on my email list. Go to MikeGoodwin.com. Get on my email list so you can get the up-to-date information about all the whereabouts and the goings and comings of comedian Mike Goodwin. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode. I feel better. I'm at my time. I've done, I think, a decent time. I've been keeping in the rail. Shout out to my guy, Thomas Neal. I think gave me the suggestion of switching it up, letting people get the introduction up front. So we did that, and we walked through this episode together on one accord. So hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you got your cardio in. Hopefully you are taking out one bird with two stones, listening to this podcast and walking. Also, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next week. Same bat channel, same bat place. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. Before I jump off, hit me up, info@comedianmikegoodwin.com. Follow me, like, subscribe, social media, share this podcast with folks if you really enjoy it. And I'll see you next time. Peace.